Make sure you check the description for any links to important articles, and come with your own conclusions. But I just wanted to touch on the topic of Trump's ability to influence the midterm election and how much I would attribute to Trump. From my perspective, I see Trump as being the mover and shaker of the Republican Party. We're talking about somebody who was not a politician, was more of a cultural figure, and probably a left cultural figure if you really had to point it out. He's a businessman, and I'm sure it's for free markets, things along those lines. But I'm sure many people would consider him would have been left. Now he's running, he's president. Uh, I think many people didn't see him as a big policy type guy, but now that he's in office, it's a whole different issue of whether Trump can influence political discourse. And I think with time, we're 2 years in now. I think Trump has become somebody who can not only one dictate what the media says, but also how he can influence elections just by changing the discourse and tone. I think a couple weeks ago, and I think the polls will bear this out, it was not looking as good for Republicans coming into midterms. But I think with Trump in his influence, and just how he's shaping the conversation, Democrats are kind of, stepping on their own toes and shooting themselves in the foot coming up on these midterm elections. And it might not be enough. Democrats might be able to get the seats that they're looking for and proceed with their own agenda of resist and impeachment and things along those lines. But Trump could easily make this or lessen the blow or even make it a net positive for Republicans by his ability to rally the base. And that's the sense that I've been getting in really the last week. There's been a strong sense of rallying the base. And Democrats were talking about a big blue wave, but I am not seeing or getting the feeling from all the talk on, the mainstream media that that there's really going to be a big blue wave. It's more, is there a baby blue current? And Democrats would be happy with a big blue current because then they could call it big blue wave and they could call it resistance and there could be a whole new spin to the news cycle. But I've got a sense of worrying from the Democratic Party of just how much Donald Trump, the thorn in their side, can have on influencing this midterm election. The real importance of this election is whether there's going to be a moving forward of Republican type policies or is there going to be a resist type movement. Now, I know that senators and congresspeople have been flocking to these battleground states. South Carolina. Are they going to be fighting to get, there's been talk of who's raising what, how much money is moving. It's becoming a money status, who can do what, where, to try and influence these elections because they are going to have a serious effect on the latter half of Donald Trump's presidency. Now, he might be a two-termer, especially after he won. And the first year, people were saying, and the Republican Party are thinking, 2 terms. We got a 2-termer with this economy and some of the effects in tax reform and everything he's done to influence. We got a 2-termer. Democrats, they want a 1-term, flash in the pan. Trump's presidency was a fluke, to spin the paradigm that, it was an illegitimate presidency. And if they can keep him to a 1-term president and make sure that the second half of his first term is pretty much ineffective, I think that's really something that they were going to want to do to influence the narrative of who was Trump, and try and undo, the positive narrative that he's been able to create as a president. It's an important day, and it's going to be more talk about it as the following weeks count down. But, November is coming, and is it a big blue wave, or is this just another sign that Trump is somebody who can influence midterms and other elections for the Republican Party's benefit.